Stop recording. Speech off.
Hi guys, good morning. It is VI Life with Kelly, and I'm pretty sure you're watching this on the morning of President's Day. It's the 21st day of February when this finally uploaded. This is going to be a quick story time, so if you're interested in hearing about a date I had um, not too long ago, it is an older story, but if you're interested in hearing it, then keep watching. As usual, let's keep Charles uplifted in prayer because he wants my attention. Um, and this is my third video upload. I had a goal to get 5 videos done on Sunday. What was that? The 20th of February. I had wanted to get 5 videos uploaded. I had 5 video ideas, and so 2 of them uploaded really good. I fell asleep, and so here we are. Um, let me turn that video off because I don't want copyright issues. But anyway, guys, one of the reasons why I'm not very interested in online dating anymore is because of the quality of candidates that you get. Once you are, dating guys that are over, 45, they're very skeptical, and they're very closed off, and they're no longer interested in, um, spending, okay? And what they will do is the younger guys will try to play you as far as thinking because you're in a certain age group, because you're in a certain profession, that they can sweet talk you and spend time with you and sleep with you, or give you the impression that they got all this stamina, and um, they'll just act real sweet and sensitive with you to try to get in quickly with you, um, and get whatever it is they want. And usually it's like financial. They usually want money out of you. They usually want, of course, they'll sleep with you, but it's not about them sleeping with you. That's more so for you. They feel like if they sleep with you, that's going to help them get more of what they want, which is money, which is your vehicle, which is living with you. Like, that's what the younger guys are doing. Um, and that's their goal for the most part when they're talking to a woman that's, you know, their senior or 35 plus, right? Then the guys that are older, as far as 45 plus, that are wanting to talk to women in their age group, they're not willing to do the things they would do in the past, because now they're looking for something more sensible. They have so much going out with the children that they've made, with the children's mothers they have, with their own mothers, their siblings. Like they're already stretched in so many directions that when it comes to love, when it comes to companionship, when it comes to doing the things necessary to be with you, they're looking forward to being with you because they feel like you're more sensible, and they can train you to not be quote unquote materialistic, not be quote unquote modern of this world, not be quote unquote desiring or expecting them to cater to you, to do all these things that they would deem quote unquote materialistic. And I want you all to know that when men talk to you like that, that's a direct correlation with their financial instability. Okay, they're at a sensitive place in their lives where all of this frivolous spending, as they want to call it, is no longer an option, a viable option. They're either at a place of rebuilding right now, or they're at a place where they can't spend another dime, or they're going to have to work into their 70s, or they will not be able to maintain whatever it is they have. Okay? And so if you're dating guys that are almost 50, over 45, and they live in an apartment, they're working every day of the week, they are rebuilding, okay? They're rebuilding, they have a complicated situation, and they're in trouble. You know, they want to live the lifestyle they've created for themselves that they've enjoyed, but they've spent way too much time playing around, being traumatized. They may have just got out of their marriage that they were in 10 years, 15 years. They lost a lot in that circumstance. And so now they want to be with you because they think you're more sensible, you're more realistic, you can help them, and that they don't have to, go that distance. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to take you out every week. They don't have to, they feel like you cook, they can come over and have dinner, and they can, you don't need all these things, right? And so, um, that's the perspective, right? Cool. So, there was a guy that approached me, and lots of guys, let me say this, on those online dating platforms, if a guy says he's in his 30s, more likely he's in his 40s. If a guy says he's in his 40s, more likely he's in his 50s and 60s, okay? And that's why I did that video on online dating, or dating profile tips, um, because guys seem to think that if they're in a certain age group, they'll have a better response. Now, I will say, older gentlemen, meaning that they're 50 plus, don't like that women treat them like sugar daddies. So basically, the younger girls are going for them, expecting, like, you should be established, you should be able to spend this money. If you want my time and attention, then it costs. And I need my hair, nails done, I need spending money, I want to go here, I want to do this. And so they'll put the younger ages on because they're trying to cut down on that, okay? Um, so either way it goes, um, I don't like talking to guys that are in their 30s. I don't like talking to guys that are, 55 and up. Okay, so I'm pretty much the kind of lady that wants to talk to somebody in between 45 and 55, somewhere in there, 44, 54 range. Um, that's an appealing age range for me. But even though I will tell you, the 40s is still not, it's still not a good, I'm not 100% excited about a man in his 40s, because a lot, like I said in the videos talking about the purpose of your 40s and 50s, and the purpose of your 20s and 30s, a lot of men, good men, have invested in lives, futures with women who turn around and took that investment and put it with another man. So they've had to walk away from homes and vehicles and lifestyles and start over, and it's embittered them. It's shut them down. And some guys just have this attitude that, they're just out here doing whatever they want to do. And as far as commitment and as far as all of that, they really don't find it valuable. They're really not interested in it. And so, that's that. Whereas the 30-year-olds are still, they're chameleons, and of course none of this is 100% accurate, right? It's in the 90% percentile. But the 30-year-olds are chameleons, especially if they're not on track with their purpose, right? So they're out here pretending to have a lot more going on for themselves than they actually do. They're out here trying to get it together, scraping to get it together, and they're looking for a sugar mama. They're looking for someone to level them up, help them. They're trying to scrape that together, okay? So this guy that I went out on a date with, he had said he was from, I think, South Georgia or Alabama. I forget. Excuse me, guys. I forget exactly what state he said he was from, but he said he was from one of those places. And he said he owned a construction company, and him and his brother, or him and his cousin, um, that's what they do. They work every day and they make a lot of money, and they've been able to really do well with their construction company. So we're supposed to go on a lunch date, which is my number one go-to when a guy approaches me in face-to-face or online. Back then, when I was more so open to online dating, my number one go-to is a lunch date, something around like 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., something up in there. Okay. I'm willing to do an early dinner date like 4 p.m., but 9 times out of 10, it's always going to be and a lunch date. Okay. So we're going on a lunch date. Um, I was actually leaving a meeting and I use Lyft, guys. The reason why I use Lyft is because Lyft gives you Delta Sky Miles and Hilton Honors points every ride, so that's what I do. So I was catching a Lyft, and he ends up telling me like, oh, well, just put a stop in, um let's meet, let's meet at the, what did he tell me, let's meet at the mall. He's like, where are you going, where are you headed, you know um I'm just right here down the street from you, do you want to just catch a Lyft together? Okay, cool, sure. So, I was open to that because I actually wanted to see where he lived. And so I was like, cool, yeah. So we rode the um, to the mall together to have lunch. We're going to the Nordstrom Cafe, guys. You guys know I go to Nordstrom Cafe religiously. So we were going to Nordstrom Cafe together, and so everything was going good. So when we got in the car, he was talking and he was telling me about his cousin's birthday is coming up. They're having a big party for his cousin's birthday. He wanted to know if I want to go. While we're at the mall, he wanted us to look for outfits, and he has a Saks. He wanted to let me know he had a Saks Fifth Avenue card and this and that, and he really just wants to have a great time. I was like, okay, cool. So at this point, when we were meeting, I had a very long day. I had spent longer time at this meeting than I expected, and I hadn't ate. So as soon as we got to Nordstrom, my focus was let's sit down and eat because their cafe closes early as well. And you have to constantly check in with them because they don't have a set schedule. Like, they've been very much affected, by the current life events that's going on. And so they could close at 3 p.m., they could close at 5 p.m., you just never know. So when we got into Nordstrom, he was immediately went into shopping mode, like, ooh, let's look at this, let's look at that. I was like, yeah, 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 but let's go upstairs and eat. Like, Nordstrom does not close until 9 p.m. So, he started showing me shoes, like, what size shoe do you wear, this and that. And that was cool. So we go upstairs to the cafe. So when you come off the escalator, the cafe is straight in front of you. You walk past the women's lingerie department, is right there, boom. So we get in the cafe and everything, and we order our food. So of course he's never been, and anybody who hasn't been to Nordstrom Cafe before, you pay for your food before you sit down. So you go to the counter, to the restaurant, to the register, and you order your food, you pay for it, and then they give you this little tray, and it has your little receipt in there. And if you want a tip, you can leave your tip in that little tray, and then you pick where you want to sit, and it's open seating, so you could sit at the bar. Yeah, you could sit at the bar, you could sit in tables by the windows, you could sit in a booth. Like, they have all these different seating options, and then your server comes to you, and after they bring you your food, and at the end, they bring you these dark chocolate mints, which are really good, by the way. And you can buy them You can also buy them, okay? So, I usually, when I order my food, I usually always just include my tip right then and there because I like to give them cash if I have cash and put it in that tray. But a lot of times I don't remember to bring cash. So I'll just tip while I'm paying. So we get up there. I ask him like, "What do you want to eat? What do you like to eat?" I basically tell him the menu. They did end up having this um, southern pot pie soup, guys, but it was sold out. It came with jalapeno cornbread. It sounds so good. And I was like, "What is that?" But and they usually have like signature soups and of the day. Like you just never know what the pop-up soup is going to be, and their soups are good. But they always have like crab bisque or lobster bisque soup, and they always have like tomato basil. Like there's a few soups they always have. So anyway, guys, I'm like, well, what do you like? This and that. So I'm ordering. So I'm like, let me have the simple green salad. You guys already know what I get because I already did so many videos of me being in Nordstrom Cafe. But I'll be like, let me have the simple green salad. That's what I've been on lately. And let me have the margarita pizza. Let me have the sweet tea. And could you put one lemon and one lime in it with lots of ice, right? So he's like, oh, well, let me have the same thing, but let me have the Caesar salad. Oh, and let me have avocado. I get avocado on my salad, okay? So I'd be like, and so he was like, oh, well, let me get the same thing, but let me get a Caesar salad with the herb salmon. And because I'm telling him, like, you could get that with shrimp, chicken, or salmon, herb salmon, whatever you want. So he's like, yeah, let me get the same sweet tea and this and that and this and that. So now the lady's asking me, how much. She's telling me like how much is it, and she's like, well, we don't have any more dine-in options right now. She's like, but we can make this a to-go order. And I'm like, okay, cool, that's cool. So because they have seating areas like tables and everything in front of the store because they have that bar down there called the E-bar. It's like a Starbucks. So they have all these tables in front of the store by the E-bar. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So y'all, I kid you not, this girl told me how much the price was. She was like 50 whatever. And she's like, well, do you want to go in and add a tip? And I'm like, yeah. So I'm telling him like, okay. So we're just standing there looking at him. He starts acting like he's on the phone and like his card doesn't work, right? He's like, oh, the chip on my card doesn't work. Yada yada yada, right? So I'm like, the chip on your card doesn't work. I'm like, well, you can type your card number in. I'm like, so just take your card out with your ID and everything, and she'll just let you type the card number in. So he's like, oh, they gonna let me type the card number in? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, just put your card in there and let's see. Sometimes they know how to make it go through, but if not, they'll just type it in for you. So then he's acting like he can't find his card, you guys. So they don't make your food or start on anything until you pay. And by the way, I know everybody at Nordstrom Cafe. So the lady that's my cashier, we know each other. So she's like, girl, what you been doing? Like talking and chit-chatting and everything. So he's fumbling around his pockets, acting like he has some cash in there. Like he's just gonna pay with cash. He's fumbling out the receipts and stuff. So then he's like, oh, all I have is this like prepaid card. And so he's just making up lies. So at this point, I'm getting quiet. And he's like, we could just go to the ATM. He's like, matter of fact, I'm going to just Zelle you the money. And then we could just pull it. Matter of fact, I'm going to sell you, a few $100. So you could just take it out the ATM for me. And I said, okay, that's cool. Right? So he's like, I'm going to Zelle you right now. So I Apple Pay, because you can Apple Pay in Nordstrom Cafe. So I Apple Pay for the food. So boom, with the tip and everything was $70. So now we're just standing, we're standing out in front of the cafe because she's like, okay, it's gonna be like 20 minutes before everything is ready and whatever. I'm like, yeah, cool, 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 cool. So we're going to the ATM, which is right outside of the Nordstrom doors at the top floor where the cafe is. So he's acting like he sent me the Zelle. He's like, boom, boom, boom on his phone, like, okay, boom, it's sent. And then you hear these little sounders, but they're text message sounders, but he's saying that, that's the confirmation that he sent it. So he keeps asking me like, how much money can you even get out the ATM? How much money can you get? And I'm like, I don't know. I never thought about that. Like, I don't use the ATM. Like I can get as much money as I want to get. Like how much money are you trying to get? He's like, well, let's just put the card in there and just see, what the ATM will let you do. And I'm like, well, how much money? It's not about what the ATM will let me do. Like, how much money do you want to get? So we keep going back and forth about that, for like a minute or so. And he's like, well, I'm trying to get like $1,000 out of there or whatever, this and that. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So he's like, well, let's just try $500. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that's not an issue. So I look at my messages on my phone because when Zelle transactions come through, I get an email and I get a text alert that such and such just sent me money via Zelle, right? Just like everybody else does. And so I hadn't gotten any message. I still wasn't tripping because I was like, oh, let me just check my account because sometimes it's delayed. I mean, I'm in the mall. Who knows? Internet, cell phone service is not consistent, but it could just be sitting in my account. So I check my account. There's nothing there. I refresh. I log out. I log back in. There's nothing there. I check my text messages, there's nothing there. I check my emails, there's nothing there. So I tell him like, hey, nothing's come through. And he's like, well, yeah, they're slow. My bank is slow sometimes. That's why I need to give me another bank. And but they already sent me the alert. Matter of fact, let me forward you the text message so you can see. I said, yeah, forward me the text message. This guy pretending on the phone like he sent me a text message. He never sent me a text message. He starts talking in circles, acting like he's talking to his cousin. He starts telling his cousin, send me your sizes because we're going to get you an outfit to wear for your birthday. And I don't know what his cousin is saying, but he's like, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And anyway, so in Phipps Plaza, there is a Saks Fifth Avenue. And he said that he has a Saks card, right? So after he keeps, making up all these lies concerning this Zelle transaction that never happened, I tell him like, you know what, just stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, just stop. It's okay. Like, you doing too much. Like, this is shameful. Like, all of this is unnecessary. And I'm looking at him honestly because I'm thinking like, wow, this guy thought I was just gonna pull money out my ATM just based on the fact that he acted like he sold me money and not check it. Because $500 is not a lot of money. So he really thought he was just gonna fast talk me and I was just gonna be pulling money out the ATM like, okay, here you go, here you go. And that was gonna be so. I'm telling him like, stop all of this. I didn't get a text message from you. You didn't forward me anything. I don't have the Zelle transaction. I'm like, let's just get this food and, call it a day. So he's like, nah, you think I'm lying? I'm not lying, this and that. I'm about to call the bank on speakerphone. Y'all, this is real. This is a real quote unquote date, a first meet and greet, a first date. So this was like, no, I'm about to call the bank right now. I'm about to put them on speakerphone so you can see, la la la. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Call them on speakerphone then. So he's thinking I'm gonna say, no, you ain't gotta do all that. Like, no, no, no. But I said, yeah, call them on speakerphone. So we're still standing there waiting on the food to get done. and he calls Navy Federal Credit Union. Now, I have Navy Federal Credit Union as well. So he gets on the phone with them. He starts telling them he need them to let him know what's going on with his account. So they ask him for his access code. He doesn't know his access code. So then she's like, well, what's your social? So he gives her one number and she can't find anything. She's like, well, there's nothing pulling up with that social. He's like, are you sure? I got an account, this and that. So then he gives her a whole nother social, you guys. I'm talking about the first social started with a one something. The next social gate was started with a two something. That's how much of a whole different social security number it was. So at that point, I'm like, wow, this guy then gave this woman a whole different numbers and thinking that I'm not paying attention and thinking that I can't hear or see him for the foolishness that he's trying to pull. So I tell him, he starts telling her, no, you should be able to see my business account. Okay, boom. He said business account. Now, I'm going to put y'all up on game. Business accounts cannot utilize Zelle, you all. So if you have a business checking, business savings, there are no Zelle options for that account type. It has to be a personal checking that you're using. You can put your business name on your personal checking account. You can use business email to accept Zelle transactions, but it will not be a Zelle option for you from a business checking, business savings account. So as soon as he said that part, I was like, oh, he's really lying. So he keep talking to the lady acting like he don't know why she can't find his stuff. She's like, well, sir, I need to transfer you to the business department anyway. And before I can do that, I have to verify you, and I'm not able to verify you with the information that you're giving me. So I was like, well, ma'am, let me just ask a general question real quick. I was like, to your knowledge, are business checking or business savings accounts even able? Is the option even there to do a Zelle transaction? She was like, no, business checkings don't have that option online, or even if you're on a computer, like that's not an available feature, right? So boom, so now he's further busted. Okay, you guys. So now he's really looking like, no, 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 no. She already said I need to be transferred to the business department anyway. So she can't even verify what's going on with my account anyway, right? So at this point, I'm like, just stop, okay? I'm like, let's just not even go any further. Like, let's stop all of this. So finally the lady gets off the phone with him and he's asking her what can be done, and she finally told him, like, at this point, we're not going to be able to provide any options for you other than you need to come into the branch because you have some security clearance issues on your account, and so you need to come into the branch with your driver's license to get any further assistance. And then she said, or you could email this department because they will, answer and respond to your email. So it's Friday. No, it was Saturday. It was Saturday afternoon, like 4 or 5 p.m. So all their branch locations were closed by the time he was talking and pretending with these people, and then they weren't going to be available again till Monday. So he kept saying, oh my god, I ain't gonna have no money for the whole weekend, I don't have no way to get nothing handled. I was like, well, she did just tell you could email these people, email them your driver's license and this and that and get some stuff moving. Navy Federal customer service never closes, they're open 24 hours a day. Anyway, so he's still pretending, still acting, so my friend comes out the cafe. She brings us the food, our drinks, and everything, and we go sit down to eat. Right? And I know y'all are like, "What?" Yes, guys, we go sit down to eat. Because I'm not for the foolishness. Like, I go to this mall all the time. I know a lot of people in this mall, the director over the mall, like the security. Like, I'm not about to make a scene. I'm not about to be further embarrassed, and I'm very hungry, guys. And I'm one of these people that I will lose my appetite and then don't eat for a couple of days and then not feel good. So I was really trying to not embrace the fullness of what was happening because it will turn my stomach and make me not eat. And so I just kept focusing on like, no, we about to eat. You know, this is one of your favorite things to do. You know, who cares what he's talking about? We're done, right? So we're sitting down, we're eating, he's talking, and I'm not listening, and I'm not responding anymore. Like nothing else he had to say. I couldn't hear him. I wasn't trying to hear him. And he kept acting like he was waiting on this person to call him and that person to call him. And then he kept saying to me like, if my mom cash app you right now, could you give me the money? Could you send it? Could you this? Like, if my homeboy, I should ask my sister, but I hate to ask my sister for any. I mean, this guy was just still going on and on and on, trying to find any angle he could to get me to send him some money. Um, so I stopped answering any of his questions and I just started eating my salad and eating my pizza and drinking my drink. And the whole time I was just praying because it was like this demonic spirit over him. And I was thinking about what I was going to do next. I was like, I don't know if I'm just going to tell him after I finish eating this food, like, well, you know, this is it. You know, I'm about to go on with my day and this is it, you know, have a good one. If I was gonna go in Saks and see if my friend is over there, and like I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was like, So he starts talking about, this is so embarrassing. Maybe this is a sign I need to get my life together. I've been having so many problems. I was in a really bad car accident. I was in a high speed chase with the police a few months ago, and I really messed my arm up. I mean, he starts saying all this stuff like, you know, I ain't the type of dude to bring no girl somewhere and then do this type of thing. Like, I had planned on tricking on you. You hear that? I had planned on tricking on you today. Like, I don't come to the mall and don't spend money, you know? Like, I had planned on getting a few thousand and this and that. And I mean, this guy is saying all this stuff. Mind you, he says he has a Charger. He says that he has an Audi. He says he has all this stuff. But of course, one of the cars is in the shop, okay? And the other car got totaled by his sister. He let her borrow his Audi and she got into a car accident, and it's not gonna be ready till Monday or Tuesday or something like that for him to pick it up, right? So, I mean, he's got the gift for gab. He's got a story for everything. You know, I mean, he's just running his mouth, and I don't care what's coming out. I'm not listening. I'm eating my food and deciding what am I going to do next, right? And so, finally, I was like, oh, you know what? It's Target across the street, and I need to get some stuff for laundry. So I was like, you know what? He's here. I'm gonna have him help me walk across the street safely and get to Target. And I'm just gonna move on. Like, I'm gonna disconnect and detach from this supposed to be a quote unquote date. And I'm just going to look at him as an assistant or like my child, and no harm, no foul. I'm just gonna appreciate his visual assistance going forward, and go to Target, get a couple of things I need to get, and go home, right? So we walked across the street to Target. It was this couple walking across the street too. They were really cool. I was chit-chatting with them, and got in Target, got the things that I needed. So at that point I was like, okay, well, I'll see you later, because I was getting ready to order me a Lyft to go home. So I was like, well, I'll see you later, you know, I hope things turn around for you, you know, basically. He was like, well, no, I'm gonna get your Lyft home, and I'm gonna and I was like, excuse me? He's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna make sure you get home safely and this and that. So then, you guys, he starts trying to order a Lyft. He says that he had put $275 on his Lyft account earlier that morning. Now then he starts talking about how He had issues with his card before, and he was supposed to have gone to the bank this morning, but he got caught up helping his sister move and doing other things. And I was like, wow, that's interesting, that you wouldn't go to the bank first immediately, knowing that you're not going to have access to funds, knowing that you have a problem with your card, and then come back and help your sister. So anyway, but it happens, you know. You think something's only gonna take up an hour or two and you still gonna have time to go do what you need to do. All of that's legitimate. Who knows if what's the truth, right? Who knows? Who cares? So, because while he was running his mouth, you know, one minute he had some cash in his pocket, the next minute he didn't. One minute he had different cards in his pocket, the next minute he didn't. Even like with the story about his Saks card, right? He said he had a Saks account when we were walking through the mall getting ready to go leave, and he's like, man, I wanted to do this and do that. I said, well, if you want to go in, Saks is right there. I mean, they can look up your credit account. All you gotta do is give them your driver's license and you can use your account. Like, you don't need the physical card. So if you want to go in there, you know, it's an option. So he was like, well, no, I don't got my driver's license on me. I just got a picture off my phone. I mean, this guy had every problem it is under the sun. And I'm saying to myself, now you said you're a business owner, you make all this money, you had planned on tricking on me today. How did you plan on spoiling me, quote unquote, and you don't even have your driver's license with you? You don't, quote unquote, have no, you said you had all these cards with you. Now you don't have none of these cards. Your cards don't work. I mean, his stories were all over the place, y'all. And I was just quiet. I was like, So when he hit me with the whole, I just have a picture in my phone crap, so I was like, oh, I understand. And like I said, we got to Target. I did what I needed to do. And now, you know, he's talking about he had put a credit on Lyft. He's for $275. Well, the thing about it is, even if you're using an Uber gift card, a Lyft gift card, you still have to have a debit or credit card in there for a backup, or it will not draw the funds off of Apple Pay or, you know, your gift card balance. You still have to have a debit card or credit card number there as a backup in case for whatever reason that those gift card funds are not available. Then they'll use your credit card or debit card as a way to get the payment for the trip, right? So he's trying to order the stuff, you know, we're at guest services, and I'm just like, oh Lord, let this nightmare end. Like, this guy is just dragging the heck out this whole situation. And so now, guys, he is talking about, I don't understand what's going on. And I'm like, oh, let me just order me a Lyft. I need to go home. It's getting late. It's cold. Like, you know, I need to go home. He's like, no, 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 no. So I'm in my phone, like, still ordering it secretly, because I'm just like, I don't care what he's got going on. And when this Lyft pulls up, I'm going to have one of these Target representatives take me out there, and this is over with. So I'm secretly still ordering the Lyft, and I tell him, like, you need to put a debit card number in there, like, even if it's a prepaid card number, because he starts saying he just has his cousin's prepaid card in his pocket, which I'm like, okay. And so he puts his cousin's prepaid card number in there, and then boom, he's able to order a Lyft. So he's ordering his Lyft. He's like, yeah, let me put a stop in there for you. Like, that's the least I could do, is make sure you get home, this and that, this and that. I'm like, okay. Y'all, when we got in this Lyft, why did this guy start asking me, can he borrow $150? I kid you not. This guy start begging me to borrow $150. And I didn't say anything. I act like I didn't hear him. I was like, look, I need to figure out what I'm doing. I want to make sure this driver doesn't miss my turn and everything, because I don't live far from this Target. So, you know, whatever you were talking about, like, let's talk about it once I get home. So he's like, oh, okay. So he's still in the car talking. He's like, Man, I was thinking I was gonna be at home tonight, have me like something nice to drink, smoke a little something. Yes, guys. I thought I was gonna step out, like my whole weekend is ruined, but I'm not tripping. I could stay home, I could chill. Like that must be what I need to do. Oh Lord, guys. And he's still coming back with the whole, but he's saying the stuff quietly. Now let me tell you about real men. The driver that I had was a real man, and he was absolutely disgusted with this guy. The guy was trying to shoot the breeze with the driver. The driver was not talking to him, period. He was like trying to ask the driver if he did cash trips, which I was shocked at that question too. Like, why are you asking this man if he takes cash trips? If you quote unquote have $275 on your Lyft account, and like it was just like, what are you talking about? And the guy was like, no, I don't. Like, that's how the driver answered him. Like, absolutely not, don't try me. And he was asking him that while he was still in the car begging me for $150. Like, can you just cash at me $150? And I no $100. Can you cash at me $100 and I'll give you $150 on Monday? As soon as the bank open, I'll send you back $150 for doing this for me. Please, please. So we pull up to my garage, and I get all my things, and so the driver's like, you gonna be able to get all this stuff? And he's like, do you need me to help you? I'm like, nope. I'm like, just put all this stuff on my arms. Y'all, I had all them bags on my arms, and we have this door that you have to fob into, and it's real heavy and it locks. And so I got to that door, and he was still trying to talk. And I said, let me get on my elevator, and you can call me, and I'll call you in a few seconds, and we'll talk about whatever it is you're talking about. I was like, but go ahead on and let this door close and lock before the alarm goes off, right? And so the door closed and locked, and then I got on my elevator. You guys, while I was on that elevator, I was up here blocking this guy's name, number, everything. Before I could even get it done, because I'm not on the elevator long at all, by the time I walked around to my house, I had like 7 text messages and several missed calls from this guy. All of it talking about, I'm so sorry for today. I'm gonna make it up to you. But could you please let me borrow $100? Can you please cash app it? You guys, the guy was, I just deleted all those messages. He found my social media. He was sending me messages on there, still begging, can I please let him borrow, $100, and he's gonna give me 150 back. So I'm telling you guys this raggedy story to explain to you guys why I don't date that much. I don't go on that many dates at all, and why I am no longer interested in online dating. Because 9 times out of 10, the people that are talking, that are on there misrepresent themselves. They're in a really bad jam. They got a lot going on, and the con artistry, the scamming, the misrepresentation, the waste of your time. Um, I was thinking a lot while I was with him and he was running his mouth and I wasn't listening to him anymore. I was thinking a lot like, wow, this guy begged me to go on a date with him today. I mean, calling back to back to back to back to back, messaging. I mean, he was very intentional and persistent about, I want to see you. I want to go out with you today. Like, yes, let's go have lunch. Very, very, very persistent. And I was like, for what though? Why is this guy so persistent to waste my time? But that's how it goes. I really believe the guy is homeless. Because you have a lot of people out here in Atlanta, Georgia that are homeless. They come from southern cities, they come from Tennessee, they come from Alabama, they come from all over, to Atlanta, hoping and thinking that they're gonna come up, and they learn the gift for gab, pretending and acting like they got more going on for themselves than they really do. And it's like a culture here, so with this guy, and they also have a consensus, like if you're doing good, or quote unquote they perceive you as doing, having an advantage, then they don't mind taking from you, because in their mind, like, you can get it back up. You can recover. You're in a better situation than they are, so who cares, and so I just really think this guy was probably homeless, staying with whomever. He probably owed them money, or promising them that he's gonna give them, some money, and acting like he has a better situation than he really has with them as well. I think the guy was thinking that what he was going to do was, because he didn't even remember that I was visually impaired. That's another thing. He ended up telling me, like, as he was being exposed, for the liar that he is, he was like, why you didn't tell me you had visual impairment? I'm like, I did tell you that. Remember, we talked about it. You asked me about the car accident and everything. So, but even with that, because a lot of times, even though I'm explaining to people that I have visual impairment, it's different once you experience it with me, and then you're like, ooh, okay, I get it. She really has, visual challenges, and she really needs me in this capacity. And I feel like that stopped him from really doing harm to me, because I definitely believe that he had every intention to rip me off. I think that had I been foolish enough to put my card in the ATM and start, withdraw money, even if I was like, oh, let me just get some cash for myself, I think he would have snatched the money and ran. Or I think he would have tried to act nice and try to get me to get more money, like finesse me, like make me feel, like, oh babe, let's ball out today, and get me in that kind of zone, and get me to keep pulling money out, and then take off, and keep acting like he's selling it because she's visually impaired, so she ain't even gonna be able to see. I could just keep telling her, I sent the money, and knowing I never did, or just keep telling her my bank is slow, and just keep having her pulling this little $500 out, because I'm sure that ain't nothing for her, and then be gone. And then by the time she realized she got hustled, I'm way down the street kicking it, doing what I really wanted to do, or spending time with whatever girl I really am pursuing, or keep getting me a hotel, or whatever the real agenda was. He thought he was gonna get outfits out of me, and fed good, and the thing that was interesting too, he didn't even eat his Caesar salad, guys. He shared the pizza with me. He took a couple of sips out that sweet tea, and he was just running his mouth. He was like, I'm gonna eat my salad later. I honestly think because he said he was calling his sister, and his sister was like, just call me when you're done, because he was like piddling around like he wanted to ask her something, but she was just like, just call me when you're done. And I said to myself, that's interesting. Both of us was quote unquote starving to eat. I'm like, he's feeling some type of way because he's probably baffled, because he thought he was gonna get this money out this ATM, and it didn't happen, and I'm not talking to him, because he kept telling, I wish I knew what you was thinking, right? I'm like, I bet you do. So I think that he was holding on to that salad so that whatever girl he's really with, or wherever he's staying, he could come back with something for them. Like, babe, stop tripping. I got you a Caesar salad out of Nordstrom Cafe, and they could feel, and then he could finesse the next person, whoever it is. Like, look, I'm looking out for you. You up here tripping. I'm thinking about you. I honestly think That's what he was doing because it didn't make no sense. Like, we're hungry. You went through all this bull crap to go on this quote unquote lunch date with me. I'm sitting here, we're eating, and you not eating your salad. Now you keeping the salad because they give you these gift bags, these double handle gift bags, and everything's like packaged up all nice individual. He's like, oh no, I'm gonna just wait till I get to the house. I'm gonna save my salad. Because then when I started eating my salad, he was like, oh, you gonna eat your salad now? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, he could be one of these people that like to sit at an actual large table and get themselves comfortable and all that. But we were sitting at an actual large table. It's lunch. It's a late lunch, early dinner at that. And you mean to tell me you don't want to eat your food? You rather carry it around? Y'all, I was just thinking so much stuff. I was like, this guy. And the saddest part is when you do stuff like that, only bad things are gonna come your way. You know, you know, only bad things are coming your way when you're sitting up there pretending. And like I said, when he made that statement, like, why you didn't tell me, like, I don't even care about you having visual impairment, that just make me want to take care of you and protect you even more. Like, he had all the, y'all, it was a hot mess. Comment down below. First of all, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. But comment down below and tell me what y'all think was going on. What do you guys think was the agenda? Or do you think I'm on point? Do you feel like absolutely that's what it was? Like, you guys, let me know what you think um could have happened, what he was expecting to happen. If you have a situation, or you're living out here in Atlanta and you've come across so much of that bull crap your own self, that's why you don't date anymore. And like me, a lot of people be like, I feel like online dating is so dangerous and this and that. You guys, I meet so many guys in real life and online dating, and all of it is like the same scenarios every single time. It's always, these pretenders, these people that are fresh out of jail, these people that are, recreating themselves, rebranding themselves, making up these lies, misrepresenting themselves and wasting your time. I got this dress, by the way, guys. I got this dress from Bella Blossom Boutique. They're actually not in business anymore. I think they're doing pop-up shops now. Like, I think for the summer they're going to be doing a pop-up shop. So, but I got this dress last year from the Bella Blossom Boutique, and I actually have a try on haul video of me unboxing my packages from them and trying on quite a few outfits. So if you wanted the information, like the sizing, I think this dress is a medium. If it's not a small, I think it's a medium. It's super cute because it gives like that pencil skirt look, so it V's down and it stops like right under your knees and everything like that. But anyway, I like this dress. I've only worn it out like one time, and I got like tons of compliments. It was really cute. Let me show you guys. I'm gonna put well, anyway, you guys see my braids are like about right under my bosom, so they're at my rib cage. um yeah, my braids are really at the like bottom of my rib cage. The this braid is, and then the top braid is like at the top of my rib cage because it's like way here. So the reason why I keep taking my hair down and then rebraiding it is because it's really dry at the root. It's super dry at the root. So what I keep doing is putting the double buttercream in there to rehydrate the roots, because you need to keep your hair hydrated. That's the key to long healthy hair, is keeping your hair hydrated, moisturized, and keeping those roots healthy. So that's why I keep braiding and then sectioning it and then rebraiding it back up. Braiding your hair softens your hair. It's a protective styling. When you put it in your bonnet, it keeps your hair nice and soft, and it also gives it a nice curl pattern, a nice wave pattern. I I touch all in my head because it lets me know like what's a dry area. You guys know I use a black rinse, so that's another reason why I'm really intentional about using hot oil treatments, about using a certain amount of oils and creams all the time, about doing my protein treatments. And like when I go to hairstylists and I tell them what I want, a lot of them try to talk me out of it, like, oh, you don't need all that. And I'm like, hey, I know what I need because I know how good I am about daily care, and I know what I'm taking my hair through. So, I've been doing this all my life, and that's why I have long hair that's to the bottom of my back, because I'm very consistent about how I take care of my hair. I'm constantly protecting it and repairing it just from day to day damage. And for those times when I missed the mark, like I'm too busy, I forgot. Maybe I fell asleep, I didn't have a bonnet on, and you just, it was super cold, it was super hot, it was super dry. Like your face, your hair, your skin, it takes a beating sometimes. And like I showed you guys in the other video, you want to make sure to keep those ends well moisturized and oiled. So that's what I'm doing now. Now, if I was going curly right now, like where I wanted that wet look, then I will put a lot of product on my ends to bring out my natural curl pattern. But because I'm going for like a more straight look, then I just use just enough to coat, but not to saturate. Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Happy President's Day. Use it wisely. Don't stress out. And I hope you guys enjoyed All-Star Weekend. I hope your favorite player was there, and all of that. Hugs and kisses.
Speech on. Stop recording video.